to the Thursday Taylor Treasures Talk Show.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We're back again.
Yes, we're here, and it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. As you can see.
It is. Or hear.
Yes. Here,
we have Christmas decorations up.
Yes.
If you can't see us.
And the plane wants to celebrate with us in the sky. Hello, plane. So we got everything set up for Christmas. I know it's only the 2nd, but I think it's the 2nd. It should be. But it is the Christmas month, and this is the only time we have our talk show in December, so we're going to do our Christmas show, and I think it's appropriate. I think we can celebrate Christmas.
We all need Christmas a little early. I
do.
think so.
Yes.
We're allowed.
Oh, yes. I love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday. I know, is it yours?
Yeah, I'd say it is. I think it's mine. I caved early this year. I listened to Christmas music 2 days before Thanksgiving.
So did I. Yep.
I usually wait until after Thanksgiving.
I
was
heard...
like, you know what? I'm in the mood and I'm allowed.
Yeah, same here. Except I did get a little annoyed. It was only November 8th, and I heard Christmas music on the radio. That's a little too early. But,
No. You gotta wait.
You gotta wait a little bit. But, yeah, I did cave this year. I went before Thanksgiving. So yes, it is the Christmas season, with so many different fun things. There's the tree, the gifts, the cookies, and so much more, and especially the birth of Jesus, because we are Christians, and that's what we believe.
Happy birthday.
Yes,
to
well,
Jesus.
Not technically. We don't know when he was born.
Well, come on. We all picked a day.
Yeah, we picked a day.
This is the day.
Here we go. His honorable birthday is, there you go. So, what are we going to talk about? Well, first, before we get into what we're going to talk about, we have Christmas merch, guys. If you want some Christmas merch.
It's exciting.
Yes, we also have our regular merch if you want that. It's linked below to our website, or it's on our YouTube channel. Hey there, I just wanted to pop in here real quick and let you know that there's a sale going on at our store for today and today only. That is December 2nd. You can get 15% off all our store products using the code HOLIDAY15. That's HOLIDAY15. And using that code, you can get 15% off all our store products. Enjoy! Also, you can follow us on Anchor. Hello, if you're listening on Anchor. It's a nice place to listen to us, because then if you're on YouTube, you can't turn off your phone, and then you click things if it's in your pocket.
Well, you can if you have YouTube Premium.
Well, yeah, but a lot of people don't.
But who
I
has
don't.
That?
Yeah, so Anchor is nice because you get to turn off your phone screen, so you can take it anywhere, and you don't have to worry about it shutting off because you accidentally touched it in your pocket.
Yeah.
So that's nice. Also, I hope you enjoyed the first episode of the Saturday Sketch Show. It was out.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed
Hopefully that went well.
Yes.
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
We're not sure.
Just went up, so we have to see what people
think.
We're
gonna find out.
Yes. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving too. We did. It was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first topics we wanted to talk about is our Christmas traditions that we do, and the ones that we did growing up, and kind of just our favorite Christmas memories. Wanted to talk about that.
So many.
Yes.
So many.
Yes, and then we'll get on to the other topics after the Taylor Treasure Box. So the first thing we do, and I don't know if everyone does this. This is different for different people, but some people do the stocking by the tree, and they open their gifts on Christmas morning, and they open the stocking.
Right.
And I know a lot of people do that, but we actually don't. What we do is we do something called St. Nicholas Day, and that was, I'm not up on my St. Nicholas, but he was a man, I think years ago, that was like really charitable, and he would put like gifts under people's or on people's porches. It was like food and stuff like that.
Well, it had to do with the shoes. Something with shoes. Like they put their shoes out. And
you would put food or something.
And that's kind of, I think, how the stocking developed.
I think so.
That's why he's like called Saint Nick and stuff. I don't know. I don't know the whole story.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. But what we do is it's December 6th. So what we do is we put out our stockings then, and we fill them at that point. We don't do it on Christmas morning. We do it way earlier. I think it's kind of fun. It's like a pre-Christmas.
Get you warmed up.
Yes. So we always have our stockings there. We get like I used to get the Little Debbie Christmas trees. I don't get those anymore.
They're the best. I love those Christmas trees.
I don't eat regular sugar.
And the thing is, like, even when I was like a teenager, I could go out and buy those Christmas trees. But I didn't. I just waited till I would get those.
Right. Yeah. So we'd get those. We get fruit and nuts and little gifts. So that's always fun. And what's one of yours that you wanted to share of traditions?
Well, then usually after St. Nicholas Day, we would move on to decorating everything else. Because we started with that. And we do the tree and everything like that. I really liked, we don't have it anymore, I think it broke, but it was this like giant gold star. And I just really liked putting that on top of the tree. It didn't always fit because, trees don't always work. And like the little hole thingy was too small. Yeah, now it's broken, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It dropped.
Yeah. So that was always fun.
Yeah.
I liked you. I don't know if we ever got a real Christmas tree when you were little. I can't remember.
We did once because we have that picture of me and you, and like there's the white.
When you were really little.
We'd like a fabric so that it would catch the pine needles.
Yeah. But now we have a fake one, but when I was probably before you were born, we got real Christmas trees a lot. And I remember going and you'd bring your little saw and you'd cut it down and bring it home, and you have to spend hours trying to get it to stand up in the stand.
Yeah.
But that was always fun. And then the other fun part was after Christmas, throwing it out the window. I always thought that was really cool because my dad would go on the roof and he'd throw it off of the roof.
Hey, it works. Yeah. Yeah, didn't we stop, I think, because the cats, they were getting like sap on their paws because they were going in the tree or something?
Yeah, plus it it does die, so you get pine needles everywhere, especially when you have to take it down.
Yeah, personally, I am more of a fake tree person. I like it better.
I would like to try a real tree again, because we haven't had one in a while, but I'm okay with fake trees.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind. Also, we used to have we still do advent calendars, but we used to have, I think it was for Christmas, right? We had like this wooden church. It was like blue and white. Advent. Yeah, it was advent. And it was like this wooden church. It was about, I don't know, how tall would you say? Like, I don't know, 12 inches or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
about a foot tall, I guess. But there were these little doors in it, and my mom would put like little candies inside, and so every day we would open a little door, and there'd be like a little paper with something written on it, and then like some candy that we would get every time. And then we had like our own personal advent calendars.
With little rooms. Flaps that you open, like the story of
Jesus
and stuff.
We would reuse them, so we'd have to tape the doors shut because they would all just stay
are
open.
we the only people who reused advent calendars?
I mean, you had yours.
Everybody always got
years.
New ones, but we just retaped them because you forget in a year. You don't know what it says.
It's true. Yeah, they do always say something. Also, we don't do it anymore. There was the whole COVID thing, and we just haven't gotten back to it. But we did something called a cookie exchange before Christmas, and everyone would come, like our friends and family members, and we would all bring our own cookies, and we would put them on a table, and you would walk around with like a glove on or something, and you would go and take a cookie from each thing. So you would bring like, I don't know, it was a certain amount, a dozen of your own cookies, and you went home with that same amount, but it was like a mix of all the different cookies.
Yeah, so you could make one type of cookie and get all these other kinds.
True. Yeah.
Now this only works if people actually make tasty, interesting cookies, because if you have one and everyone makes chocolate chip, what's the point?
Yeah,
everyone has to make something unique.
Didn't our mom do something I think she would have people
no one
email.
could make the same thing.
Yeah.
So you'd have to tell her what you were making.
Right.
Which is how it works. You can't all make
the same one.
That would be pointless.
My favorite are always pinwheel cookies, the chocolate kind, and holly cookies. I think those are my two favorite cookies.
I like thumbprints.
Yeah.
Thumbprints are good.
I don't know. I can have a few, but then I kind of get really tired of them really quickly. I don't know why.
Oh, I know. I love thumbprints.
They are good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like that. I remember we haven't done it in a while. I don't even know if it's still there. But when I was younger, we would go to see a nativity scene, but it was huge, and it was made entirely of wood, and it had moving parts. It was called the living nativity scene or something, or the moving or something like that. But this guy who carved these little figures, he would put them on little gears, and you could see just everything going on around. They had the manger scene, but then you have somebody doing wood carving, somebody with their sheep. There's a little town. And we would always go see that, which was pretty cool. The drive was a little long. I remember being this drive is so long. We were on the way there. But once you got there, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I actually don't remember that. I must have been really little. Did I even go?
You were little. It was also, I think it was in a Slovak store, like, because we would go and they had those, like, those eggs that you blow the stuff out and then you, like, decorate it really intricately.
Yeah.
It had all that stuff in the store part, and then I think, like, Christmas, they set up this thing that you could go look at. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I remember a cool Christmas story, like, memory thing, is when I was little, I really liked Raggedy Ann and Andy, the stories and the dolls and all that. If you don't know what they are, they're just, like, dolls with yarn, red hair, and there's a couple books about them. Anyway, we knew a family who kind of had a rough year, and so we were just going to go and not tell them, just drop off presents on their porch. And we kind of, like, they had kids that were kind of our age, so we all, like, went to our rooms and kind of just picked something, like, that we would give them. And I just wanted to give the girl my Raggedy Ann and Andy doll, and then these 2 books that went with them. I remember my mom being like, "Are you sure? Like, you actually really like these. Like, why? I mean, you can give her something else. She'll never know."
Yeah.
I was like, "No, I want to give her these." So she's like, "Okay." So we dropped off their stuff, and I didn't really think about it. And then Christmas Day, we went over to our big family gathering that we have, and I got a present from my grandma, and I opened it up, and it was the exact same dolls and the exact same books. Like, not even a little bit different. Exactly the same. And
she didn't know. She just had gotten
my
them.
mom asked her. She's like, "Did I tell you that? Like, did I tell you she gave that away?" She's like, "No, I just thought you'd like it."
Yeah.
And so that was pretty cool. I felt like giving that away, and then it's literally a give and receive.
Yeah.
Not that it always works that way, but it's kind of cool.
Right.
Especially being little. It was like, "Oh, cool. I got it."
Right. Yeah, those memories are always nice. And yeah, so I guess some other traditions we had. Well, on Christmas morning we still do we do separate gifts. We do gifts for the pets. Not that they care. Well, they do if they can eat it or play with it.
They do.
But
they care.
Yeah, they do care. But yeah, we give the pets their separate little gifts. We have the cats and the dogs. Sometimes it's like something we can use, like a dog pillow or something, or it's like treats or something. Also, we have like our separate. We do the kid presents. We're not really kids anymore, but we still do it.
You have 1 year left before you're an adult.
Yeah, but me, Laura, and our brother, we have our own separate gifts from our parents that we open, and it's neat. They do. They wrap everything in tissue paper, so each year. One person gets red, one gets white, and one gets green tissue paper. And you kind of have to, like, guess before you open them, like, whose is whose. Usually there's, like, a opened gift on one pile and the other, so you can kind of see who's whose. But we each get a colored paper.
It's usually mine. And
yeah, right.
I remember, I don't know if this is actually true, but I think one time when my brother was really little, he was really scared about, like, Santa coming in the house. He's like, I don't know. I don't want him to come down the chimney. I don't like that. So they had to tell him that Santa was going to leave the presents on the porch. He would bring them in. Because he didn't want him to come through the chimney.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, on Christmas Eve, we do a fun thing. It's a tradition. Our parents get each of us a pair of pajamas and a book that we open every year, and then we wear the pajamas into the next morning, and that's always fun. And we also have, like, on our tree, we do separate ornaments for everyone. Like, we have the family ornaments, we have pet ornaments, and then we have our 3 ornaments that we put on. It's kind of nice because then, like, whenever we move out, we'll have, like, ornaments for our tree already that are, like, really special, instead of having to go buy, like, you know, I don't know, store-bought.
I'll next year be somewhere else, so we'll have our own tree, and then I can use the ornaments that I put on our tree because they are my ornaments. It's cool.
Because we get an ornament each year. And if my voice sounds like it's quivering, it's not. I'm not nervous and I'm not crying. It's a little chilly in here, so I'm a little cold,
a little blustery out there.
Even though
it's cold.
I had the heaters on for hours. it just goes away so fast.
Yeah. Well, it is like 30 degrees outside.
It's very cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I remember being little and getting out the Christmas VHS tapes. Oh, yeah. That was where it was at.
Yeah.
All the Christmas VHS tapes. And, of course, I really like hot chocolate because I like anything chocolate. And over the years, I have I just stole it, but the best hot chocolate recipe ever. I can make it. And it's not just me, because I made it for someone else the other day, too. And they specifically asked me to make it because they said, yours is, like, really good.
It's very good.
There's a lot of sugar in it, so that's probably why.
Oh, don't ever give me the packets of hot chocolate.
Oh, those things are just...
That is mud water. That's all that is.
See, and that's why I went on a hunt, because I'm like,
those are just so
how
gross.
are we calling this? This is not even... People will put water in it. That's not even... There's no milk. It's not hot chocolate. There's no milk involved, so it doesn't count. Anyway, so I found the best recipe ever. So if you never need one, let me know, because I have...
Hit her up.
I have the things. And I also remember making... I went through a phase where I would make, like, take a mason jar, and you'd put all the ingredients and layers that someone would need, like all the dry ingredients, like for cookies, and then you could, like, decorate the lid.
You put the
whole
whole recipe
doing that
on.
again. That was pretty
fun.
fun.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Because, like, it's really good for someone if you have no idea what to get them. I mean, as long as, unlike you, because you don't eat sugar, but if it's, like, a normal person who eats food, like, it's probably going to be a good gift.
Yeah.
So
I eat unrefined sugar. I'm not totally out of the sugar loop.
well, then you could have one with
Coconut sugar. Yeah, I use coconut sugar a lot.
But it's really pretty, and I had a whole, like, cookbook of things that you could make. I gotta find that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I also remember one year we did, I don't know whose idea it was, but I was really little, and we all decided to make, well, us three, we decided to make a Christmas play. And we, yeah, don't you remember that?
No.
We had our robes on. We literally have pictures. I have a pink robe. You have a red robe.
That was a dancing show.
I know.
It's
okay.
Not, you made it sound like a pageant. I'm like, we
No.
never did like a Christmas pageant.
It was low budget with no props. But literally, we had our parents and like a neighborhood friend come over, and they sat in our kitchen and watched us dance for like a good 45 minutes.
I tried so hard to choreograph it, and then
I
pretended it was choreographed, but you guys just did whatever you wanted to.
Yeah, I just danced around.
Yes, and the Christmas CDs as well as the VHS tapes. When the Christmas CDs came out, you knew it was real. It was getting lit whenever you got John Denver and the Muppets and Mannheim Steamroller and Christmas Hits Volume 2. You know it was getting real.
Yeah, we didn't have Volume 1. Just Volume 2.
I don't know. What was that Volume 1? We had Volume 2.
Well, I think maybe we got hand-me-downs of CDs, so we didn't get the full sets.
I don't even know where they're from. They were probably from another generation.
They just kind of showed up. I don't know.
It doesn't matter, though, because all Christmas music that's good is old. There's very few new Christmas songs that are actually good. There's a few, but not many.
Right. Right. Also, it's funny. We used to have a big, like, normal tree that went down to the ground. And then we got my dog, Solly.
Who ruined that for us.
We no longer have a tree that goes down to the ground. Well, it started, though, it was a cycle, or like I don't know what you call it. It started with something else, though. It was the cats. We had the full tree, but we can only decorate like half of it.
Well, no, it started fully decorated.
Yeah.
And then as the weeks progressed,
it was your kittens.
It became bare.
It was when the kittens showed up.
Yes, when I had my kittens, they loved the ornaments, and so you had half a naked tree and then like an overstuffed top.
Yeah, because you can't put anything on the bottom. And then we got our dog, or my dog, Solly, as a puppy.
And it's forget it.
He was a bad puppy.
He would have eaten the tree. It would have been gone.
Because he ate everything.
Like, where's the tree? And so he would have been like, it's inside of me.
So now we have a half of a tree.
Pretty
much the size of a half a tree. It's a mini tree that goes on, or like a sideboard. And it does not fit very well in our stand. So every year I just watch my dad. He struggles so much because
It
it's
always
like
leans.
yeah,
It's never straight.
No, it's never straight. It always leans. And some years it'll just fall. Like I remember one year we were sitting in the living room and my dad had to like lunge for the tree because it started to fall.
It's like, there it goes. Better catch it.
And then one year I think
We tried to tie it up the one year.
Did we?
I think we had like string. It wasn't at first, but by the end we were tired of it falling over, so we tried to tie it up.
Yeah. And now, last year my dad just gave up. It leaned on the wall because
No one turned on anything that moves.
No, yeah. So our tree's always very difficult to get up, but
Thanks, pets.
Thanks to the pets. It's their fault.
Also on Christmas morning, when you have cats and you open presents, that's like they love it because they can pounce on all the wrapping paper.
Yeah.
That's the best gift for a cat.
It's true.
Just give them tissue paper, wrapping paper.
Yeah. Yeah. One year we all got like pillows from our parents, and they were under.
Was it our parents or Santa?
Was there? We don't know. It's
don't
a
know.
mystery. I don't know. But they were under our heads, and I was sleeping. I woke up. It was this tie-dye pillow, and you got a purple one with cats on it and flowers.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I think you still have it. I still have the cover.
She made them. Thank you very much. Didn't she?
Did she? Oh yeah, I think
Sewed them.
yes, she did. Yeah. But I woke up. It was under my head. I'm like, how? And I asked my mom like really recently, like, how did you do that? Like, She's like, well, I just prayed and I really hoped he didn't wake up because apparently somehow she got it under both of our heads without us waking up.
Well, I remember
do you remember it?
but I don't think it was under me though. I think it was just like sitting on the bed. I don't think it was underneath of my head though.
Really?
So you must have been more sleepy than I was.
Yeah.
You were also younger, so
I
you
was
probably
younger.
forget.
Yeah. I remember one year when I was really little, we used to, on Christmas Eve, we would share a bed, and when we were really little, our brother, we would all like sleep in the same room together, and me and her were in a bed, and one morning, I was like really sleepy, and I woke up, it was like really early, and I heard these shoes and these heavy boots walk into my room, and I saw this head, and it was Santa. Santa came into my room.
See, there he was.
Yes, even though
You got to see him.
Even though it was clearly my dad in a gray sweater. Like I clearly saw that it was his head, like I knew, but I guess my little kid brain just was in denial. I'm like, no, that was Santa. Santa came in and told everyone the next morning. Oh, Santa came in your room. Great night.
Exactly. Yes. It was.
I heard the boots and
well,
everything,
because you
guys.
know Santa can disguise himself as parents.
Right.
That's part
exactly.
of his
That's
gag.
why it was just
so
Santa
it was.
disguised as my dad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He can morph. Yeah, so I told this on our old show at one point, but maybe some of you haven't heard it. It's really funny, but one year, maybe about 3 years ago, I was opening my gifts, and we're opening up, and we all do one at a time when we're doing the three of us doing our gifts, and I opened mine, and okay, it's a 5-pound bag of sunflower seeds. That's very nice. Okay,
Thank
all right.
you.
My mom went, oh, that's for Nathaniel. We'll move that over there. And so, okay, all right. And so we go
He
around
was on
again.
his health kick of eating sunflower seeds.
Yes.
So that's what she got him.
And so we go around again, and a couple of gifts later, I open it. Okay, it's 250-pound bag of omega 3s. That's very okay. I was
Great,
like
thanks.
10, but it's like, oh, that's for Nathaniel too. That's a little mistake. But all right, fish oils. Thank you.
That's what I want when I'm 10.
Yeah,
Fish oils.
fish oils. Yeah, but that's funny.
Yeah, looking at your hat, I remember I used to do that thing where you can turn your hair into like a Christmas tree, basically. Like you take a plastic cup and you put it on your head, and then you like bend over and you pull up all your hair and you put a hair tie like on top of the cup so it like all stands up, and then you can like put lights on it and little tiny ornaments, which is really fun. So I did that one year, and up the street, we have a relative who has like not on Christmas, but it's like after Christmas, like a party, and my dad went up there and for some reason we didn't go. I don't know if we're going later or something. But I put my hair in this like tree shape, and I think my mom and maybe somebody else was there too. They were like, okay, go up to the party. Everyone's going to love it. It's great. You should go up and show them. And I was like, I don't know. And they're like, come on, you should do it. They'll love it. It's like, okay. So I walked up the street and I stood in front of the door for probably 15 minutes because I did not want to go inside. And then I turned around and came back.
Can you imagine?
And they were like, what did they think? I was like, I didn't go in. Like, what were you doing? It's like, I was just standing outside.
Can you imagine like a neighbor's, like this possessed girl with like a Christmas tree on her head?
And I kept like almost knocking on the door, and then I like wouldn't, and then I'd like turn around, and then I'd try and knock again and open. No.
If only people would ring back then. That would be funny to see.
Yeah. That would be pretty funny.
You know, I don't know. I think Ring cameras are nice for security. I always feel like, I don't know, if I'm gonna do something silly like trip or something, someone's gonna see me somewhere. I can't just forget about it.
It is cataloged for the internet. Somebody will see you do it.
I did it today. I tripped. I was running down the hill here in my dog's yard leash, and I tripped over a thing. One time.
And the thing is, everybody trips. Everybody does it.
Yeah.
There's not one human on this earth who, like, I never trip, I never fall.
Yeah.
Like, if you are able to walk, you will trip at some point in your life. So.
And especially, what's embarrassing is when you're, like, on a perfectly level ground.
Trip over nothing.
And your ankle just flips under itself, and you're like, like, you're just walking. It just decides to flip over. So annoying.
Like, thanks for that.
Yeah. But anyways, getting away from tripping. I have a funny memory. When we all used to sleep together when we were little, my brother, the way we would do it is like Laura had a loft bed, and me and her would go in her loft bed, and my brother would like go in my bed or something. And I woke up to my brother whimpering because he was talking in his sleep, so I heard like it's like 4 times. I don't know. I found that funny as a kid. I told that story many, many times.
Because when anyone talks in their sleep as a kid, you think it's like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Wait,
What did I don't catch one time? He went through a phase where it was like only about a year and a half ago, where he would record. There's like an app where you can record yourself, and it'll pick up if you talk in your sleep. And he did something, and I forget what it was. We were cracking up over it that he caught. He was like laughing in his sleep or something. It was really funny.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I gotta ask him. I should put the audio in here because it's hilarious if he still has it. But it caught him. I did that app for a solid like 3 days, and then I gave up because it didn't catch anything. I was very upset.
Because you're a very sound sleeper.
Yeah. Yeah. We have that picture of me on like a log. Like, she took a picture once of her 2 cats fighting. Were they fighting? You was on your bed, and you like...
Yeah, well, because I was getting them pre-fight, where they're like...
Yeah, they're staring at each other.
And then they attack.
And I'm in between them on my bed in the bottom, just like... It was a weird position. I was like my neck was like squished down. It was like a log.
Well, our brother... I went on a trip to Scranton, PA. Because we like The Office. And we got a hotel room with like 2 beds in it, and we went to sleep, and he lays down like he's in a coffin. Like, he's straight with his arms next to him, his legs are straight out in front of him, and the next morning he was in the exact same position.
He hadn't moved.
He hadn't moved. He was on his back, arms down. He's like, "Are you okay?" It's like, "Yep." Then he got up. Like, so he didn't move or anything.
See, I can't.
I move so much. In my sleep.
My bed looks like a tornado
all the
went through it.
time.
Yeah. It's interesting the way he's able to sleep, because he did not buy a normal tent, you know, like a round one, or like a normal round one person one. He bought a coffin tent. You literally get in, you lay down, and you can't move. It's like a slice of cake.
That's all it is.
It's
a slice of a tent.
Yeah, it's a slice of a tent. You say, well, I mean, it doesn't move, so why would it need anything else?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I would have so many pains if I did not move. So, yeah, one thing about our cats too, with our we've had problems with our tree. We had a cat named Fluff, and she was all white, and it wasn't like every year. It was when she got older. It was like the last 3 years of her life. She would get somehow into, it was only in the full tree, and she would go into the middle of the tree, and she would just lay there in the back. And so constantly there was just this giant hole in our tree.
Yeah, I don't know how she did it, but she could just sit in there.
Yeah.
Like, why would you
want
that? You fall through? I don't know how you did that.
And it's not even comfortable. It's because,
wires. You know what? When it comes to cats laying on things, it's because they can. It doesn't matter if it's comfortable. They just can, so they're going to.
She was the queen of the house too. One time we had this what do you call that glass? The old-fashioned colored glass.
No idea.
In churches, the windows that
stained glass?
Yes, stained glass, that's it. Lost the word. We had the stained glass lamp.
It was not stained glass.
Okay, it looked like stained glass.
No,
it was glass.
It was white.
No, it was not.
You're remembering the wrong lamp.
No, I am not. It was the colored one.
You're remembering the orange one with 2 circles on it, right? Our father knocked that over and broke it.
No. Okay, wait. So it was metal at the bottom, but it was like dark metal because it was old, and at the top it had like slabs of glass that was all colored.
No,
that is what she knocked over.
No, we had a white one that was clear, and it was like a bowl. It went out in a very long bowl, and then it had like a glass lid on it.
Okay, fine. Whatever the lamp was,
she broke.
Whatever. So she had a tendency to knock over anything she wanted. She would just
when she was hungry because you didn't feed her fast enough. She'd knock things over.
Whack, whack, whack. So we had a lamp. And I think at one point she tried to knock it over. She almost did, but we caught it.
No, because maybe I should tell the story because
I clearly remember the end of it, though.
I was the one there.
You were not there. It was me and my mom. That's when she knocked it over.
I was the one who saw it.
Fine.
We put duct tape on things because we thought we'd outsmart her. Like little figurines and all that. We just took a little duct tape, rolled it, stuck it down. And we did it to the lamp because it was an antique lamp, but we got it from somebody, and we were like, we want to put this out, but she's going to try and knock it over. So I did the duct tape thing on all the little feet, and she was on the mantle, and you saw her go over and trying to push it.
She couldn't do it.
She couldn't get it.
Oh, made her mad.
I was like, and somebody, I think it was me, maybe it was somebody else, but was like, oh, we outsmarted you. You can't knock it over.
And she took that personally.
She gave a look of oh yeah? Okay. No joke. She backed up and she headbutted the thing off the mantle.
She
and
got
it smashed into a million pieces. And she totally scared herself. But she did it. So good for her.
Yeah. And that's the day we still kept her after that because we had to.
She also caught on fire one time.
She kept on fire. She didn't freak out though. She was just kind of walking.
Well, she wasn't on fire. She was just smoldering because she walked past a candle.
It's funny because
that's the worst smell. Burning cat hair is horrible.
It's horrible. Even dog fur too.
She had really long fur, so she didn't feel it because it just got the tips. But the smell was awful.
Right. Yeah, we've had incidents with our wood stove. We've it's like a black, big, heavy duty wood stove. And our cats are just stupid sometimes. They have learned their lesson, so they don't go near it anymore. But there were 2 times our cats, 2 of them went on. And it's so funny, the difference of reaction by the 2. Her one cat, it's one of these 2
Lucy.
Permanent kittens. But she's like this tiny little rat cat. She's very terrified.
She's like a permanent kitten. She
Yes.
never grew up.
She's cute. And a little weird.
But no, she's not. She's adorable.
But, so, she's very scared and timid. And so, for some reason, she decided to jump on the wood stove. And it was it's like a trampoline, boo! She got off right away.
Maybe 0.1 second.
Yeah.
Before she's like...
Because of that, she really didn't get burned. But we have another cat named Ginny. And she's the fattest cat. She's 25 pounds.
She's so lazy.
And she's black and white, so we call her a cow because she looks like a cow. She has these tiny little stubby legs.
And poke out from her fat.
Yeah. If she lays on the ground, her legs just go into her body.
Yeah,
there's
she's just
fat.
a loaf. She's legitimately a cat loaf.
She's so fat. But anyways, somehow she got up on the wood stove. And, she sat there for a good, like, 10 seconds, like, oh,
Okay,
this
well,
is a little hot.
We didn't just leave our cat.
No, we
on
didn't.
the woodstove,
We wouldn't
okay?
do that.
Don't think that.
We're not
because we
abusing our
didn't.
cats.
But we came in.
We
and
didn't know
saw
she
her
was
get
on there.
down, and obviously she'd been on there for a little bit.
Yeah, because her paws were little
tender,
crispy.
So don't worry, we took care of it.
We
She
fixed
never
it
went
and
back.
gave her ointment and stuff. She was fine. But it's just funny because, like, I
She
guess
was
she
like,
didn't realize it.
This is kind of hot.
Yeah.
This is actually really uncomfortable. Oh my gosh, I think I need to get down.
Yeah. Just very slow reaction from her. She's just lazy, so anything she does is going to be slow. She complains just because she has to move. Like, no one's around her, she just yells when
Like,
she's
you'll
to
hear,
stand up.
because I gotta get a drink of water.
Yeah. It's either that, she's either cranky or extremely happy or asleep.
Because she's like, you could, like, pet her belly, you could, like, roll her over. She doesn't care. You can do whatever you want to her.
Yeah. Yeah. So is there anything else you want to share? Christmas memories or anything?
I guess we always did the Advent candles on the table, hence our cat.
Oh, yeah. Right.
We always did the, what was it? 3 pink, 1 purple? Is that right? No, that's Easter. Am I thinking of the wrong thing?
No, it is. It's
No,
either
no.
3 purple or 3 pink.
I think it's, Lent is the one with the pink and purple, I think. Christmas is just white candles, and then you change it to red and green, I think.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Anyway, there were candles involved. And a couple years we read, like, what was it called? Cosmic Christmas and one other story, I think, like, leading up to Christmas, which I always thought was fun because I like books.
Oh, yeah, it's Max Lucado.
Max Lucado.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, also, I forgot to say, I remember these 2 books that I absolutely loved that were Christmas themed. There was Little Critter. He's this little critter, and he got in trouble. And it was like, he got mixed up in Christmas lights or something. And then we had, what was the book with the little boy and the peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And he was like following a star or something. I forget what it was called. But
Oh, yeah, the Star of something. I don't remember.
yeah, but he like went around and he like shared his peanut butter and jelly sandwich with someone. And I forget how the story goes, but I like that. And then lastly, I guess, we like to go after Christmas, before everyone takes their lights down. We like to go and just, like, drive around to all the neighborhoods, and we usually go to all the richer neighborhoods because they're very elaborate with all their Christmas lights.
Yes.
But it's so fun to see the amount of work that people put into their Christmas decorations outside.
It's already, like, now it's, like, really early. There's some people that it's, like, done. Like, I don't know when they did it, but
it's crazy.
They crank it out, man.
Like, even in this certain neighborhood we go to, like, it's so decked out, but there's one house that has this giant tree, and it's so tall, like, I don't even know how a ladder got up there, but they, like, meticulously put lights on every single branch, like, all the way down, and it's, like, perfectly lined and covered.
I always wanted to do that because we have a pine tree, but it's legitimately taller than our house.
Yeah,
so
there's
that
no
would
way
work.
we could.
Have you noticed there are some lazy, like,
Yeah.
workers, like, township workers? Because when you go to, like our little town light up night where they have, like, a tree.
It's so funny.
They just, I don't know if you've seen this, but
yeah.
they have the lights go up and down. So it's just, like, up and down, like, up and down on the tree all the way around.
Instead of going around
of
in a circle.
wrapping it.
Yeah.
Because that's too much work.
Right.
It looks
They-
so
they-
lame when
yeah.
they do it like that.
They used to do all the way around like a regular Christmas tree, but now they just like throw
They
stuff
just,
on.
it's literally like they just throw it on there.
Yeah.
Alright, it's lit.
Well, that's the thing. If you're gonna wrap something, don't do it or take some time to work on it. Because like if you wrap a bush or something and you do like 4 like lines that are very uneven, it just does not look very good. I mean, I don't know. That's just my own personal.
There was
opinion.
also this one, they don't do it anymore because they're a lot older, but one street down from us, they had this bigger-ish yard, and they had this, like, more than just a light display. They had, like, figures that would move. They would play, like, actual music if you drove by.
Yeah.
And they had just, like, wooden cutouts of stuff all over their yard. And it was kind of like in our town. You would always go see this one house that had all that set up. It's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, I guess the very last thing I want to say before we go to the Treasure Box is also we used to do the this place that was completely free, I think. And it was this just acres and acres of land that they would cover. It was like woods and like some open area. And they would just cover everything. It was like a good 45-minute drive around. And you could look at all these lights. And we would go every New Year's Eve. And we would go and look. Like, you could, like, listen to their Christmas music outside, or you can listen to your own. And you just, like, slowly drive around and look at all their setups. But they got rid of it because, like, they ran out of money, I think.
Well, there's still some, but they're a little bit further out. But yeah, the light shows are cool.
I like the light shows. Yeah, those are a lot of fun. Alright, so I guess that's all I wanted to share with our Christmas memories and traditions, and we'll go to the Taylor Treasure Box, and then to our very last segment. And now it is time for the Taylor Treasure Box!
Look at that.
I got it all decked out, guys.
It's all covered in lights.
Anchor listeners, I have little lights all over the Taylor Treasure Box.
Decorated box.
I did. The front of it, anyways.
Alright, I have to say, I'm trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty in the Crown Prince Philip voice. Oh gosh. I haven't seen that show in forever. What's his voice sound like?
I've been trying to reach you, but your car's extended warranty.
You do it.
There's my impression. I got the same thing. I have to do the extended warranty except in Sylvester Stallone voice. See, I got a hard one too, okay?
Alright.
Okay.
Hello.
Hold on.
Hello. We've been trying to reach
Wait.
you.
That's not it at all. No, wait. You have
How
to,
many
like,
times do I have to say on the show I can't do accents? And how many times do you put it in the box? Just wait.
all right.
Don't try and fix me. Just
Fine. Try it yourself.
We have been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. There you have it.
Okay. Let me give you a little voice lesson in Prince Philip. It's like he's
trying to get his words out, like,
That's exactly
I've
what I
been
did.
trying to reach you, but your car's extended warranty.
I don't know.
Now
I turned
that
into,
just sounded like...
it gets worse the more I do it. I need to stop. All right. Sylvester Stallone. Okay.
Hey, you! Yo, Adrian!
That's all I can do. Okay.
I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Now you're Italian.
Well, he's Italian, isn't he?
Is he?
I
I
think
don't
he's
know.
Italian.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got the mafia voice or whatever.
Oh. I didn't think he had an accent. I thought he just talked like himself.
Yo, Adrian! I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
There you go.
That's the best I can do. All right. All right. So now let's head on to our last segment. Okay, so for our last segment here, we're going to talk about two things. First, we're going to share some memorable, like, Christmas gifts that we remember as kids. And it's not in a way of, like,
My mom got me a $700 this or that.
$700, okay. It's a little extreme. But it's just to share it because we wanted to share, like, why things stuck out to us. Like, if we think about them when we're little, you don't remember all the gifts you get, but for some reason, there are certain gifts that you always remember. And it's just interesting, the list we have, because, like, why do we remember that? Like, it's just interesting. So we wanted to share that.
Yeah, things that
'cause it's
stand
neat.
out.
Yeah, and then the very last thing we're going to do is share some names in the Bible for Jesus, because his name is used in many different ways. And so we thought it'd be neat to share the different meanings behind his different names.
There's lots of names.
Yeah. Okay, so the first thing that always stood out to me is gifts. Like, it was this one year we got, sometimes my mom would get us, like, family gifts, and they would, like, be for everyone. And we got this little mini like ice rink, and it had like little people on it, and it was like fake ice, and it was just this little decoration that
They're
you could set up.
magnetic, I think.
Or were
so, I think you could just set them on the magnets that moved, and then you could set them in whatever order you wanted, and they would be pulled around the little ice rink.
Okay, yeah. So there was that part, but then the one thing, I don't know why I love this so much. I was like 5 at the time, but I always remember it. And it was this little, well, not really little, it was like a medium-sized globe dispenser thing. You know, I've seen it like arcades, like you flip it and there's like this little metal flip and you can like pull things out of it. And then the top is like this clear glass globe, and then the bottom is like the stand. And it was this red globe with the clear
like a
top.
gumball jar.
Yeah, a gumball jar. Yeah, and so she filled it with like red and green M&Ms and nuts, and I thought it was so amazing. Like, I love that thing, and I don't know where it went, but I always remember that. I was like 5.
Well, because I think it had something to do with you like mini things, and it was like not mini, but it was a smaller version of that.
The bigger one. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. I had a hard time remembering what like gifts stood out because I don't know. I just couldn't really.
Well, I had to go and look at old pictures of Christmases because I forgot.
Well, I looked at them. I'm not like holding up stuff a whole lot. Like, you held stuff up in your pictures, but I'm like, what is that? What am I holding?
Yeah.
So I couldn't decipher a lot, but I put down some things. I do remember getting like DVD seasons of Little House on the Prairie and The Dog Whisperer. Those were like pretty
Dog
big.
Whisperer. We watched that.
Pretty big.
So much.
Yes. I've watched, I think, pretty much every episode of The Dog Whisperer. And I have, I think, all the seasons. And Little House on the Prairie, we got close. We didn't get all the seasons.
No, we went up to like 7? Season 7, I think.
But theirs were really cool because, I mean, kids today will never know. But, like, it was really fun. Like, they had one of those that you opened it up and it had, like, three DVDs here, 3 here, and they were, like, stacked.
Yeah.
And you could, like, fold it and had a little slot. Like,
I love
that
that
was
thing.
Exciting, and kids won't know. And then, like, you know, you'd be like, okay, let's put in the Mary CD or DVD.
Oh, yeah, because it would have
it.
a face on it.
Are we on Charles or are we on Laura or whatever?
Right.
That was always
very
really
fun.
cool. I always loved the DVD cases.
Ooh, and another thing with DVDs I always loved was the ones that had the little side flaps that you would have to click up and then you'd open it. Oh, I loved doing that. That was so fun.
Snap, snap.
Yeah. Snap. And then another thing I remember is we had this play barn that we got, and it was like so satisfying the way you would like press them together, and it was like pieces, and they were like, it was like plastic, but it was softer plastic, and it was like this barn, and it came with like little barn people and animals.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And I used that a lot. Like, that was really, I love that thing.
I remember when I was younger, there's this book series called The Doll People that I read like 4 times. I just loved it. It was one of those things that, like, I don't really know why.
I loved it
like,
too. Yeah.
the most amazing story ever, but it drew you in. I think because it's like little tiny things, and I don't know, it was just really cool. But it was about dolls that they come to life whenever a human's not around, and if you get caught moving by a human, you're like stunned for a certain period of time. But if they catch you too many times, you're in permanent doll state,
which is kind of like that's kind of like morbid for a child's story.
Yeah, and then like they find one in the attic who's like stuck in doll state, and she's
because
like,
they don't,
you can see her eyes, but she can't move.
Do they know at first? I think like they don't know that they're going to be permanently damaged until they find that doll, or do they always know?
No, I think they always know, but the one's always trying to push the limits. So.
Right, yeah.
And there's the one bad doll who they want to get caught.
Oh, yeah, they want everyone. They would, like, try to move them or something so the person would notice.
But anyway, I wanted the dollhouse from the Doll People book. And, again, it wasn't, like, a super known book, so it's not like you could just go buy, like,
it was a
the
Barbie.
Doll People house. Yeah. It was not Barbie. I was not into Barbie.
I was saying it's not like Barbie. Like, you can just go buy Barbie.
I did have one pink Barbie house that I thought was really cool because you could open it and see rooms and stuff. But, tangent, why do they make Barbie houses that can't fit a Barbie?
I know.
Like, she would stand and be half as tall as the house.
I know.
Why? was
never
this
loved
design.
Barbie, to be honest. I was never into Barbie.
Well, we never really were given Barbies, so
Not really.
that's probably part of it.
Even those, though, like, if I went to someone's house with Barbies, like, I just wasn't interested in it. Like, I didn't
to
want
me,
them.
I think they were too big. I don't know why. I just, like, the little barn people are cool, or we had, like, cowboys and Indians that are smaller. I think Barbies were always too big. Like, they just were, like, clunky, and,
I didn't
don't
like
know.
it, yeah. Well, I even had a Barbie, a pink Barbie car, and I could never get her to go in the car.
That's what I mean.
because
She can't fit in her own stuff. Like, because her legs
Yeah.
are so long. She's, like, longer than the car. How is she supposed
Right.
to get in it?
Yeah,
So,
that's annoying.
anyway, tangent over. But I wanted the doll people dollhouse. And then on Christmas morning, there was this, what they'd done is my parents took banana boxes, which is kind of cool, and they glued them together, and they had all the different rooms. She, like, put fabric down for the rugs. They had, like, stickers with windows. They had, like, wallpaper colors on it, and then somewhere they found these little, they're really cool. They have to be antiques. I might still have them. But they're like little tiny mini furniture things. Like legitimately a standing lamp or a little dresser or a little bed.
I love the lamp.
And a couple of them you could actually plug in and they would like turn on if you plugged it into like the dresser or something.
It's true.
They were really cool. And I just thought, oh my gosh, this is really cool. And then like you could set up the little tables and everything. It wasn't until probably 3 months later that I went, oh, this is the dollhouse from that book. Like, when I got it, it did not register that that's what dollhouse was. I just thought, oh, this is really cool. It's like a house that you can play with. And then I was like, oh, that was, okay, got it. So.
Well, it's funny, like, with parents, how you expect them to react to certain toys in different ways, but they usually surprise you. Like, the ones that you think they'll like, they barely pay attention to, and then the ones that, like, it was like a side gift, it's like their favorite toy ever.
Yeah, like, that was the thing I talked about. I just wanted this dollhouse from the Doll People book, and then it didn't even register that I got it. Like, it was just a cool thing, and then I was like, later, oh, yeah, I did get that.
Yeah. Another thing I got was a miniature guitar. And it was like it actually played. Like, it was just big enough for little 7-year-old me, and I could play it. And I absolutely demolished the thing. I don't know what I did to it, but it's like, I still have it in the attic, but it's like pressed in. And like, I don't know what I did to it, but I was not good to it. Yeah. But I used it a lot. Like, that was, I love that thing.
Yeah.
Also, as pretty much every little girl goes through, I went through the phase of The Wizard of Oz, and I absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Judy Garland.
I know, favorite person ever. But I got a little Dorothy, it was a Wizard of Oz watch, and it had like red leather for the watch, and then inside was the picture of them all like walking on the Yellow Brick Road. I wore that thing all the time. It was cool.
It was very cool looking.
It even came with like little the red shoes, like a little charm on it. That came with it too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other things that are dated. I remember being really excited to get none other than a cassette player. Yes.
Oh yes, you used that thing so much.
All the time.
I know.
And I only had like a few cassettes. But it was Jim Weiss. There were a couple of cassettes by Jim Weiss, who's like a storyteller. He would tell like fairy tales.
And Summer Night's Dream.
Midsummer Night's Dream, and then the 12 Dancing Princesses, I think.
Yeah.
I listened to those. There were like, we had one that was like music from the musical The State Fair or something. We had one of those, and
the thing is, we listened, especially to the Midsummer Night's Dream and the Princesses. We listened to it over and over again, and every time I listened to it, it was like the first time hearing it. It was so exciting.
Yeah, and that's the thing that like was cool almost, because like we didn't have a ton of choices, so you kind of had to like enjoy the ones you had. But
we had a lot of
still
cassettes
like
that
it
were
wasn't
just
boring.
Music. Yeah,
we still liked listening to it, and I remember I would play my cassette player, and then I would play Paper Dolls. I remember doing that a lot. But I used that thing all the time, and I would like carry it around. It was huge.
It was heavy,
like, this
too.
big. It was super heavy because you had like 6 C batteries or something in it.
You would literally carry it around.
Yes, but and I was very excited to get it. So there's that. And then Probably like the biggest we viewed as like the most expensive thing we ever got was like when my brother was into like movie making, and we got a camcorder.
Oh yes.
It was like, oh,
the little flip
gosh.
screen.
It had the
You get it out.
little strap. It had the little screen that you would flip open, and you could tap on the screen and
press the zoom button that you'd hear.
Yeah, and it would shake whenever you would go close to it.
Well, that was the older camera. Are you talking about that one? Or no, that's the other one that would shake and you would make sounds every time you shook it.
Oh, that was worse.
Yeah.
But this one still, you could still hear the when it would zoom in and out. But we thought it was the coolest thing ever. We made a couple
so much
like random videos with our neighbors with it.
Yeah.
And it was terrible quality, but we didn't know that. We thought it was cool.
Yeah. And sadly, almost all that footage is gone and destroyed on a hard drive that got scratched. And we
Someday, if we can ever
we might
repair
fix
it,
but it's
maybe we'll get
expensive.
it some of it back. But we kind of don't think anything's
I don't
left,
think so because it was a little disc inside, and every time you would plug it in, you'd hear and it was just scratching all
basically
the data on it.
self-destructing. Why they don't tell you that, I don't know.
I know. Well, it's just an old, horrible design. But also, speaking of the Jim Weiss stuff, I got Jim Weiss, but I got CDs.
Well, see, you were at a different stage.
Yeah.
I
got
was
CDs.
younger when I got the cassettes, and then you moved on to CDs.
Which is the same thing, though. I got, like, 4 Jim Weiss things, and there would be, like, 4 stories on each CD, and I would just re-listen to them constantly. Like, I
you
love
also had
the
that,
stories.
and then you had, remember, you used those, like, old Western ones? You listened to those a lot, too.
Oh, yeah, Gunsmoke and all the other ones, yeah.
The radio shows.
The radios.
that
It was
were
like
on
1930s.
CDs.
Yeah, those were fun. And also, I went through a phase of duct tape. I loved duct tape.
Yes, you did. I was the duct tape salesperson, and then you were just the duct tape person who did not put it on your body.
No. But one year, I got like 6 rolls of like all this colored duct tape. I was so excited. I remember I used some of it to make like a mini guitar out of duct tape. It was like a mini doll broom, and I just covered it and would play it. But I don't remember exactly what I used the duct tape for. I know I used it all, but I'm not sure how I used it.
Well, you were also very into colors. So you were very color oriented.
Yeah.
So anything that was like bright, rainbow, which is why you probably like that watch so much too, because it was very bright.
It was
and
very
colorful.
bright. Right. And I mean, I got stuff like Legos, and I got a pillow pet that I still own. It's a
Pillow pets,
Yes,
man. You
I
love
know.
those.
I love pillow pets. But it was a frog because I'm born on leap year, so I always have a bunch of frog stuff. But yeah, so there's that stuff, and then I have like, I guess 2 more things to share. Do you have anything else on there?
Let's see. I remember I got some, like a lot of hair. I was into hair, so I'd get a lot of hair stuff. And I remember getting this thing. It was as seen on TV. We used to make fun of the commercial because it was called the Bump It.
The bump.
And I
She
don't know
loved
why
that.
it was a thing. I just thought it was funny because it was like this half moon shaped plastic thing with little like edges on it that you're supposed to like stick in the top of your head and then put your hair over
It was like
and it
1960s
gave you like
almost.
a bump.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
The bump.
And so they got it for me.
Right.
I got the Bump It.
Also the I don't know if you're gonna say it, but the game thing.
Oh, the Flashpad.
The Flashpad.
I still have that.
Yeah. That's another thing she
It's
used
like
lot.
a square. It's got circles with different shapes, and you can play different games.
I think it was as seen on TV too.
That was also as seen on TV. It still
Yeah.
works. I never
Still
changed
works.
the batteries.
No, never. And she
It's
was
kind
sit
of
there.
addicting. Like I would want to beat it.
Yeah.
And
Because it was like, one game was you had to use all your fingers and touch all the same buttons at once, or you had to like catch the button as it was going around, and it would like light up, and
yeah, or
you
you
would
had to
sit
like
there for
match the
hours.
circles. Yeah. It was entertaining.
Yeah. That one you did as a teenager, and that was your technology at that time. Was the Flashpad.
That was very high tech. Flashpad.
Yes.
I felt like I was in at that moment.
You did.
'cause I had the newest
The Flashpad. Yeah. Also, I would just watch you play it. Like, I would just stand there. I just stand over you for like an hour.
That's what I mean. These, like, I don't know how. I think there's too many choices, like with kids' YouTube and stuff.
Mm.
Like, they never have to just watch one thing. They can just press a button and it's something different.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, there's no attention span. It's gone
I think
way
that's
down.
what it is. I think the attention span, no one's going to have one
No.
in a matter of years because you can change your mind like that and it's different.
Right. Yeah, there's a million things. Like, I mean, just the quality, though, of kids' stuff has gone down. Like, the big thing is Coco Melon. There is, from adults, there's so little effort in that show. Like, so every song sounds the same. There's, like, no storyline.
Well,
And-
it's just songs. That's all.
Well, it is songs, I guess. But, I mean, we had, like, Blue's Clues and stuff. Blue's Clues is still around, but it's a lot different, I think, now.
I think he's animated or something. Not that he wasn't animated before, but I
Yeah.
think like all of the characters are. It's like Blues Land or something.
Yeah.
There's no Steve.
I miss Steve. There's
Steve
two
is
other
the
hosts, but he was the best one. I think.
Joe.
Yeah. Joe, I watched like one episode. I was not enthralled.
No.
I don't know. All right, so the last two gifts I wanted to share, I think they were like the two main things that I used the most as a kid and I loved. One was a snowman mask. And it was literally a eye mask that went over your face, and it was a snowman. And it sounds like the most boring thing ever. But I wore it. I mean, there's a phase of like, it's like 2 years where every picture I have the snowman mask on. It's either on my eyes or like
No, but you
on
never
my head.
wore it on your eyes.
It's on my
a
forehead.
headband. She wore like a headband.
Yeah.
She would sleep with it. She would wear a winter hat, and then it would be like peeking out from under the
Yes.
winter hat.
And I remember that. You used to like laugh because it was like, you have a hat on. Why are you wearing the snowman hat?
Snowman mask.
Yes, mask. But yeah, I never used it as a mask. It was always
It's
on
like
my
the
forehead.
most random stuff. The kids will be like, yes,
I
this is my
love
thing.
that. Yes. And then the last thing, I was going through old pictures and I cracked up because my mom kept bringing up this thing when I was trying to think of gifts. She's like, well, you really like the rice table. And
You were like, I don't know what that is.
yeah, like, well, I never kind of remember it, but I don't really, like, okay. But then I found the pictures of me when I was like 5. And my face is the most excited kid face you will ever see. There's 2 pictures. One, I'm like,
For your rice table.
yes, I'm like staring at the camera with this big smile. And then the other one, I'm like laying on the seats just like in heaven. And all it was this little,
It was a sand table is what it was.
it was a stand, yeah,
A
you
water
had like,
table.
it was like a picnic bench, but it was plastic and for a little kid that opened and you could put stuff in it. And my mom just came up with this idea to put a bunch of rice in it. And I would like dig in the rice and I would like make stuff with the rice and move it all around. And that's all it was. It was a bunch of rice. And
But you loved it.
Loved
That was your
it.
thing.
And I played with it all the time.
Mhm.
And it was in our backyard for a while. It was a water table, I think.
Yes, we tried to make it a water table, but they get gross after a while.
Did you? Well, we didn't close it enough. So yeah, that's the gifts we had that really stood out to us. And now for our last thing, because it is Christmas time, we wanted to share the different names of Jesus, and that he wasn't just called Jesus. There were a bunch of different ways that people addressed him. And so the first one is the Word. And John 1 gives us this name of Jesus. John explains that from the beginning of creation, the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Jesus is the Word made flesh, the promised Son given to us to take away our sin and reconnect us with God. He became flesh so that we might know God's love and be a model of Jesus. So that's the first one, is the Word.
The Word.
Because he's the Word of the Bible. He's the major thing in amongst the whole thing. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. It's the best way I can describe it.
The next one is Jesus of Nazareth, which I always think of, well, like around Easter because of that TV show or series, Jesus of Nazareth.
Is
We
there-
watch it Easter.
Is it called that? Oh, I guess it is called that.
Yep.
Okay.
This is the earthly name that he had and refers to the city that Joseph, his father, came from and where Jesus was raised.
Mm-hmm.
And after he began his public ministry, he went to Nazareth to teach, but no one there would listen to him. They couldn't believe that Jesus could be who he was saying he was because he was just like the carpenter's son.
Mm-hmm.
And they were so offended that they tried to throw him off a cliff. which is not great.
No.
In John 1:16
Yeah.
to 30.
Which is an interesting thing that people bring up is that, like, he couldn't teach in his own town. He had to go to other towns because if you think about it, in your own town that you grew up, it's very hard for someone to see you differently because they know you. Like, they've seen you
Well,
around.
because they grew up. I mean, they probably watched him play around as a kid, and all of a sudden, if you're saying I'm the Son of God, they're like, no, you're not.
Yeah, sure. Like, you're
I
Joseph's
changed your diaper.
little
You're
kid.
not.
Yeah, right. So that's why I had to go, like, out of his city because they were not listening there. And so the next one is Lamb of God. So the lamb as the perfect sacrifice to God goes back to when Abraham is called by the angel of the Lord to have him sacrifice Isaac. He tells his son, God will provide himself the lamb for a burnt offering. It was John the Baptist who also called Jesus by this name in John 1:29. It says, Behold, the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. So that's a neat one because that one is used a lot throughout the Bible because that story of him being like the lamb is used a lot in the Bible. So the Lamb of God.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Next one is Messiah. Jesus was called the Messiah in the Gospel of Matthew and John, which means Christ. Andrew goes to his brother Simon Peter and tells him, we have found the Messiah in John 1:41. And Jesus refers to himself as the Messiah when he is talking to the women at the well in John 4:26.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you go.
And then the next one is the way, the truth, the life. In John 14, Jesus tells his disciples, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but by me. If you had known me, you would have known my Father also. Henceforth you know him and have seen him. We know the way to God is by following Jesus, and we understand the truth of God by his word, and we receive eternal life by believing he is the Son of God. So the way, the truth, the life, and he is the only way to God and
To heaven.
to heaven.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good Shepherd. Jesus referred to himself as the Good Shepherd, whose sheep he knows, and they know him. He is also the Good Shepherd who will go any lengths to bring home a lost sheep. The Good Shepherd will lay down his life for his sheep. He will bring together all the flocks, so there is only one herd and one shepherd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's that again, the lamb, the shepherd, that kind of goes together. And the next one is light of the world. God is pure light, and Jesus is the light of the world, sent by the Father to bring light to our world covered in darkness and sin. If we follow him, we will not walk in darkness. We too can also be the light of the world when we let Jesus' light shine through us through our good works and by giving glory to our Father in heaven. So he is the light of this dark world with many things, depressing things, but he's here.
There's light.
Yes.
So, he is also the King of Kings. During salvation history, the Israelites begged God for a king to lead them, but God warned them that they would not like any king who would rule over them. Probably very true.
Oh, yes. Very much.
They ended up getting what they asked for, and while some kings stayed close to the Lord, many ruled with an iron fist and oppressed the Israelites. Jesus tells us in John 18:36 his kinship is not of this world, and in 1 Timothy 6 he explains, it explains that Jesus is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So he is the one and only King.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this one is, I feel like, used a lot during Christmas time. Prince of Peace.
Yes.
It was the prophecy of Isaiah who used the name Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace, in reference to the righteous King who will be born. Even though Jesus is the Prince of Peace, he tells us that his word, it will actually divide a son against his father and daughter against his mother. And that is because there is division between those who believe and those who don't. Jesus gives us peace, but not as the world gives. He has overcome evil, and we can share in the peace that God has defeated sin. So, basically that he is the Prince of Peace, but in a way to give Christians peace, not so much to bring peace to the world, because if you're Christian, there's not going to be peace with everyone because
Correct.
it's a very
you will offend
divisive
people.
thing.
Welcome to reality.
Yes. Yeah, if you're a Christian, there's not always going to be peace in a world like this, but
when
he is peace.
Heaven comes down to earth, that will be ultimate peace.
Yes.
But that cannot happen until heaven comes here.
Yeah.
So, last one is the Son of God. When Gabriel spoke with Mary, he told her that the child would be the Son of God. During the temptation in the desert, the devil uses his holy name to tempt Jesus into commanding a stone to be turned to bread. When asked by Jesus, who do the disciples say he is, Simon Peter answers, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God," in which Jesus replies that it was the Father in heaven who revealed this to him. When the demons would flee from Jesus, they would cry out, "You are the Son of God." Yet the people mocked Jesus upon the cross, saying if he was the Son of God, he should save himself. But that was not God's plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we wanted to share that because we thought that was interesting because there's so many different ways that people describe Jesus in the Bible.
And it's like, I think it's almost seasonal. Because like you
Right,
hear
yeah.
Prince of Peace. We didn't say Wonderful Counselor. That's another one.
Oh, yeah.
Around now. Wonderful Counselor. I guess they put them together. Prince of Peace.
Yeah, I think it was
Son of God.
thing.
And then around Easter, it's more like Messiah. And some other ones.
Yeah, there's some other ones. But yeah, they're like separate in the different holidays.
I mean, you can use them anytime.
Well, yeah, true.
But
yeah.
I just noticed that they pop up at different times. Like, especially Lamb of God at Easter,
Yeah.
So.
But also, I think it's really nice still we have, like, with Christmas music on the radio, like, they still play, like, Christian songs with Christmas. I find that interesting that they do that still on public radio. Like
Yeah, it's the one time when there's actually a lot of what you would call Christian music.
And
because that's what they're singing about.
Yeah, I always
but
get that.
people just give it a pass.
Right,
'cause it's
for
Christmas.
some reason. Because, like, if you think about it, Christian music is always in its little separate category, like, than other secular music. But then at Christmas, they're all together. And I mean,
Can you
it's nice,
imagine,
but I don't know
like-
why.
Like if randomly the radio played like "Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing" like just during the summer. You'd be like,
Yeah.
What
What
do
do you
they play Silent Night all the time?
Yeah,
So
and like all these songs, but I still think it's nice. I appreciate it because I don't know how long it'll be like that, but it is for now, so I like
for
it.
now we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
And even the one that was like canceled was not a Christian one. It was the "It's Cold Outside" song. Remember
Yeah,
that year
it is cold outside.
they tried to cancel that song?
They did.
It
Well,
didn't work.
There was one. It was like one radio station in Ohio or something.
They
that
decided not to play it.
They wouldn't play it.
And that was it.
Yeah, but I think actually though, did we? I don't think I've heard it. I think they've taken it off of radio everywhere. Have you heard it?
Listen, I think I've heard it.
Have
I'm
you?
pretty sure they still play it.
Okay, all right. I guess they still play it. At least here. Yeah, so we wanted to share that because with Christmas it can get busy and we can forget because we're like, we gotta get this food done, we gotta get these gifts to these people, we gotta do this, and you get distracted and you forget the real
The reason
meaning.
for the season.
Yes. Right here. There it is, guys. Anchor viewer, listeners. I always forget about you. I'm sorry. There is a nativity in the background here. I pointed to it.
That's what we're pointing to.
Yes. So we hope you guys have a great Christmas season.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
May God bless us all.
Yes, and yes. So
Do you even know who that's from?
yes, the Christmas Carol.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
you didn't acknowledge that, so.
Well, I
You just
got.
looked at me like I was weird. I'm not weird.
I did not look at you in any sort of way. I didn't anchor people. It's proof. Go to YouTube.
Okay.
But anyways, make sure to subscribe and give this video a like, any comment.
Don't forget your Christmas merch.
Yes, and get your merch. And if you have not followed us on Anchor, you can do that. That'll be linked below. Again, it just helps so your phone doesn't get messed up because the screen is on. You can turn the screen off and you'll still
just
hear
listen.
us. Yes. Merry Christmas, everyone. Again, hope you have a great Christmas and Christmas month. And we will see you for the Saturday Sketch Show and then next month for this show. And we will see you then.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
Merry Christmas.